Jennifer Pedranti talks off-camera moment where cast agreed Tamra Judge's antics were too dark, too toxic. Jennifer Jen Pedranti is spilling some tea about the Real Housewives of Orange County as viewers continue their outrage over Tamra Judge's behavior. Jen has felt the brunt of Tamra's attacks since her first season on the show, and not much has changed in her second season. The mom of 5 recently chatted with someone else who knows about Tamra's antics all too well. During an appearance on Vicky Gunvalson's podcast, Jen confessed that several cast members admitted that Tamra had gone too far this season. The moment occurred off-camera during the tumultuous cast trip to London, where Tamra set her sights on Shannon Beater. That was the point when some of the women agreed that Tamra's behavior had become too dark and too toxic. RHOC viewers won't argue that sentiment. They've called out the blonde beauty all season, with some urging the network to fire her from the show. Jennifer Pedranti and the RHOC cast discussed Tamra Judge's dark and toxic behavior off-camera. Jen and Vicky slammed Tamra during their chat on the My Friend, My Soulmate, My podcast as they dished about the dramatic season. Jen confessed that viewers weren't the only ones who felt Tamra took things too far this season. Her castmates also shared similar sentiments. When we wrapped in London, me and Gina and Emily and Katie were back in our room. Off-camera, everybody was like, "It's too much. We have a new low. It's too dark. It's too toxic," shared Jen. However, the problem is that people, including her new best friend Heather Dubrow, are seemingly afraid to confront Tamra in person. We saw the moment Jen dragged camera after learning she had fiancé Ryan Boyajian investigate. At one point, Jen hinted that Heather and Tamra weren't real friends, but the brunette beauty instantly shut that down and defended her friendship with Tamra. Are the women afraid to confront Tamra? While Heather has been vocal about her tight friendship with Tamra, it seems she has a different opinion off-camera. Jen noted that they've discussed how much the controversial RHOC star is great for the show because she knows how to move storylines along by saying things that others are scared to say. However, they also agree that she takes things too far. Heather and I have even had these conversations, that Tamra is great for the show, but it's getting a little too much, shared Jen. She continued. But when we all sit in front of Tamra and you try to bring this up, everyone backs off a little bit, and I think that's why it never changes. Jennifer Pedranti sat on her plush beige couch, looking out at the garden behind her Orange County home. The morning sun streamed through the glass, casting an almost angelic glow over her. But Jennifer's demeanor was anything but serene. She sipped her coffee and sighed, preparing to peel back the curtain on an off-camera moment that had haunted her ever since filming Wrapped. "It was one of those nights," she began, her voice steady yet tinged with exasperation. "We just finished shooting a scene that was, let's say, emotionally charged. Everyone was tense, but once the cameras went down, that's when it got real." The scene in question had taken place at a dinner party hosted by Heather Dubrow. It was supposed to be a light-hearted evening, but it spiraled into chaos when Tamra Judge unleashed one of her infamous tirades. What started as a playful jab at Jennifer's relationship with Ryan Boyajian escalated into something far more insidious. "She has a way of getting under your skin," Jennifer said, shaking her head. "Tamra knows how to push your buttons, and she doesn't hold back. That night she went for the jugular, not just with me, but with everyone." According to Jennifer, the breaking point came after Tamra accused her of being blind to Ryan's alleged infidelities. The accusations weren't new. Tamra had been beating that drum all season, but this time, the intensity of her delivery crossed a line. "She wasn't just calling out my relationship," Jennifer explained. "She was weaponizing personal struggles that weren't hers to share. It felt malicious." When the cameras finally stopped rolling, the cast retreated to a private room to decompress. That's when the conversation shifted from the usual post-scene chatter to something much heavier. "We were all sitting there, still reeling from what had just happened," Jennifer recalled. Emily Simpson was the first to speak up. She said, "This is getting out of hand. It's not entertaining anymore, it's just mean." And everyone agreed. Gina Kirschenheiter, typically the peacemaker of the group, chimed in next. She said something like, "We signed up for drama, but not for this." There was a consensus that Tamra's antics had gone from dramatic to downright toxic. Jennifer paused, her eyes scanning the room as if she were reliving the moment. Heather was quieter than usual, but when she finally spoke, she said, "It's dark. It's too dark." And that's when it hit me. This wasn't just a bad night. This was a pattern. For Jennifer, the realization was both validating and disheartening. She wasn't imagining the toxicity. Her castmates saw it too. But what could they do about it? Tamra is Tamra, Jennifer said with a rueful smile. She thrives on stirring the pot. It's her brand, and honestly, it's what keeps the show buzzing. But at what cost? The cast's concerns weren't just about their personal well-being. They worried about how the show's increasingly toxic energy would affect their families, their reputations, and even their fans. Emily brought up her kids, Jennifer said. She was like, "What kind of example are we setting? Is this really what we want to be remembered for?" It was a sobering moment. The group spent the next hour venting about Tamra's behavior, recounting instances where her words or actions had felt particularly harmful. They weren't just talking about on-camera moments either. There were things that never made it to air, Jennifer revealed. Comments she made behind the scenes, little digs that cut deeper than anything she said on the show. It was exhausting. Despite their frustrations, the cast struggled to find a solution. Confronting Tamra directly felt futile. She thrived on conflict, and any attempt to call her out would likely backfire. "She has this way of twisting things," Jennifer said. "If you try to hold her accountable, she'll turn it around and make you the villain. It's a lose-lose situation." The group ultimately decided to approach production with their concerns. They hoped that the show's producers might step in and address the issue, but their plea fell on deaf ears. "Production loves Tamra," Jennifer explained. "She's a ratings magnet, and they're not going to risk losing her. It doesn't matter how toxic things get, they'll always find a way to justify it." Jennifer sighed, her frustration palpable. "It's a tough position to be in. On one hand, I get it. This is reality TV, and drama is the name of the game. But on the other hand, where do we draw the line? At what point does it stop being entertainment and start being harmful?" For Jennifer, the fallout from that night was far-reaching. Her relationship with Tamra remained strained, and the incident left a lingering sense of unease within the group. "I think we all walked away from that night feeling a little disillusioned," she admitted. "It's hard to trust someone who's willing to go to such dark places just for the sake of a storyline." Despite everything, Jennifer remains committed to the show. She sees it as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to connect with viewers who might be going through similar struggles. "I'm not perfect," she said. "I've made mistakes, and I've had my share of messy moments. But I'm here to be real, not to tear other people down." As for Tamra, Jennifer believes she has the potential to change, but only if she wants to. "She's a smart, strong woman," Jennifer said. "She doesn't need to resort to toxicity to stay relevant. I just hope she realizes that before it's too late." Jennifer took another sip of her coffee, her gaze returning to the garden outside. The morning sun had shifted, casting shadows across the room. But despite the darkness, there was a glimmer of hope in her eyes. "This experience has taught me a lot," she said. "About myself, about others, and about the power of kindness. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that light always shines brighter than darkness."